Hi, and welcome back to Some Good News BookTube Special Edition with your host, Miranda Reads. And our first bit of news is that we are changing the news. Also, if you can tell, we're still playing Gloomhaven. I've received some feedback, actually quite a bit of feedback, that my title, Some Good News BookTube Special Edition with Miranda Reads, is a bit of a mouthful and might not catch on. And I've surveyed you all at Goodreads and gotten your feedback, compiled your votes and your comments, and leading by a slight majority is Some Good Book News. And from the comments, you all want me to put my name on it. Therefore, the title has been shortened to Some Good Book News with Miranda Reads. Thank you very much for all of your feedback. Now moving right along, our first news story is based off of the famous and prolific writer Phillip Murrell. He's known across the book scene as the author of Augury Answered, Zombie Walkabout, and the Bystanders series. His good news involves the success of two of his more recent books, Augury Answered and Zombie Walkabout. If anyone is interested in an action-packed and absolutely hilarious zombie safari book, definitely check out Zombie Walkabout. Only 6 more copies to that 250 goal. In addition, Bialys, author of the Chronicles of the Virago series, has some really exciting news involving the first book of that series. He told me that the most gratifying part about writing, especially for young readers, is when they talk about the characters and identify with them. And that's what keeps him motivated to continue writing. I've been a long-time reviewer of his, and I'm so happy to see his series continue to grow and develop. Fraser, author of the Abby Normal series, has some fabulous news for us as well. Abby Normal is his debut novel, and it's a dark fantasy/horror. It's also the first book of his series, also called Abby Normal. I'm so excited that his giveaway worked so well. He got such a wonderful boost in the ranking system. I was given the honor of being a beta reader for his second book, and let me tell you, there are some pretty good moments in that one, and I'm so excited to see it come out. And finally, we have an update from our very own Jessica D. Adams. If you've been watching SGN BookTube Special Edition, now known as Some Good Book News with Miranda Reads, Jessica D. Adams is the author of the Underground Toy Society. Now that one is a book series that focuses on toys that are either finding their lost members, rehoming, or helping out in various toy drives. These toys have one goal in life, and that's to make their humans happy. And last time she checked in with us, she was working on a coloring book for the very first time. And we're so excited to see that it's been completed and it's available for download. If you are interested, I'm going to include the link below, so you can also check it out on your own. Congratulations, and I'm wishing you the best of luck. And now we have our video submissions submitted by you all for this show. So first up, we have an update from a few authors.
Hi, Carol P. Roman here, and if you like the Big Book of Silly Jokes for Kids #1, then you're going to love the Big Book of Silly Jokes for Kids 2, coming out August 4th, and you can get it on Amazon. You can pre-order it, and it's filled with lots of jokes and riddles and fun things for kids to do to keep them busy, and I think we could all use a little humor right now.
Hi, my name is Kristan Higgins, and this is Luther. And this is my broken wrist. I guess my good news is that despite having a broken wrist, I finished my 21st novel this summer, and my 20th book came out. Luther loves it. Always the last to know. When I was a newbie, when I was trying to get published, I got rejected more than 50 times, and now I'm a New York Times best-selling author. So I think that's pretty great news. Thanks, have a great day.
Hello everyone, and hello Miranda. Thank you for letting me come on here and spread a bit of good news. I've got 2 bits of good news actually. They're both about my new book, The Man Butcher Prize. The first was that I got a review from the Sci-Fi and Fantasy reviewer on Twitter. He really enjoyed it, and he said he couldn't recommend it highly enough. I was really pleased with it because I was struggling to find, it was really, I really was very appreciative of what he said, because obviously I've poured so much into this book, and it's, great to actually finally find out that people, well, some people, people are liking it. And the second bit of good news is that I managed to secure a BookBub featured deal, which apparently is really hard to get. I mean, it's only in the UK, so the email will only be going out in the UK. But I am going to be reducing the price of my book. So from the 17th of August for a week, it'll be 99 pence and 99 cents. So if any of your viewers fancy getting it for a bargain, and just thank you very much.
Hey, good news friends. I have two pieces of great news to share with you today. Firstly, I'm excited to announce that my self-help memoir, Emancipated Love Junkie, Liberating Myself from Anorexia, is officially available on Amazon. Although it does include some of my darkest moments, it's intended to help others with or without eating disorders to release negativity, to embrace positive truths. Secondly, I just wanted to share how overwhelmed I've been by the positive response to Emancipated Love Junkie. I've been really touched by the stories from friends, family, complete strangers about their own personal challenges, which has just reinforced to me my belief that we're all here looking for connection and that love truly is all around us. I hope you have a chance to check out Emancipated Love Junkie. I'd love any reviews, feedback, and I really appreciate your time today. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, for our video submissions, we have Janiece Adams. She is the daughter of Jessica D. Adams, and she also illustrates the Underground Toy Society. Recently, she's come out with her very first book, The Funny Food's Best Friends. It's all about a slice of pepperoni pizza who's struggling to make friends with all the other little foods. It's adorably illustrated and has a really sweet message. Please take it away, Janiece.
Hello, I'm Pepsi Pizza. This is my first book, The Funny Food's Best Friends. I have good news. I am working on my second book, and it's called The Funny Food's Best Friends Grand Adventure. And I'm hoping that it'll be done by the end of summer. So, hope you stay tuned. See you later.
Thank you so much. That was adorable. And now to Agatha with the weather. Thank you, Agatha. That was wonderful. I am so proud to call you my baby. All right, and now for the interview portion. Hello, Christopher and Michelle. I am so excited to finally be meeting you. I am such a huge fan of the books you've published. I have been reviewing them for, I would say, about a year now. And every time I pick up a book from you all, it's always something different and something exciting. So I am hugely excited to be able to talk to you all finally. Can you please start by giving us a quick introduction to yourselves and your company?
It's Michelle Robbins, and I'm a mother of 9, first and foremost. I help out with Familius in lots of different ways through editorial and acquisitions and working with our team. It's a lot of great fun.
I'm Christopher Robbins, Michelle's husband and partner, also father of the same 9 children. And I have been in the book industry since 1992. And our company Familius, which we launched in 2012, has been one of the fastest growing independent publishing companies in years. So we do a number of different things, but primarily focused on content that we believe will fulfill our mission, which is to help families be happy. And so we do that through children's books and adult books that focus on relationships, education, wellness, cooking, and just a really robust line of children's books, as we just said already.
Thank you. All right, so Familius has been around since 2012. Could you talk a little bit about the origins of Familius and kind of what sparked that idea?
We're during the Great Recession, which was difficult for the entire industry and many people. Toward the end of it, I was kind of tired of I had run a company for 16 years. I really helped it grow. And by the time the recession was ended, I just felt it was time for a change. And I had this idea. So I feel like the family is the fundamental unit of society. And as the family succeeds, so does society. And so we thought, well, let's do something that we really like. And so that's why we made a change and launched this company on February 15th, 2000.
One thing to that, in many years of publishing from, we've watched our kids grow up. And as Christopher has worked in other areas and other companies, our kids would say, hey, Dad, why don't you publish books that we want to read? And that was a really huge catalyst for us. It's like, well, why don't we? And so we publish a lot of children's books. That's definitely our biggest line.
You all have such a huge variety of books, but I am honestly so curious what your favorites are that you've published. And I know this might be a little bit like picking your favorite child. Could you please give me 3 of your favorite books that you've published from Familius?
So there's a few books. I mean, obviously, I as an entrepreneur, I love the ones that sell the most copies, but they also fulfill our mission. So one of them is called Made for Me. And Made for Me is this fantastic picture book of a new father with his new child and how this child was made specific for him. And it's gone viral. It's fantastic. This book juxtaposes this little tiny baby in the hands of a very, very large man, a guy, and they really pushed against us. And we said, no, we think this is right. And what's been fun is we've actually received Facebook posts that show people holding the book with their dad, and their dad looks just like the guy on the cover. And it's not just one dad, it's like a lot of different photos. So we resonated with people. Another one that I think may be the most important book that I've published in my career is a book called Let Me Tell You My Story. Diaspora in the Middle East because of the civil unrest, and how there were points of light on this map, and each light represented like 1,000 people. And as it started, and it was over a period of time, as it started, it was just a few trickles, and they were going into different countries in Europe. And then as the map progressed, it was just the whole Middle East and Europe just lit up with rivers of light as people were being, pushed out of their country and trying to get out because of the civil unrest. Let me tell you my story. I think that's what the nonprofit group is called. In Germany, who had been working to chronicle these people's stories and take photographs of them, and so we took that information and we created a book called Let Me Tell You My Story, which is just a haunting, beautiful, poignant, and that's been an important book. And then the third book that I would bring up is a book called Good Moms Have Scary Thoughts. This book gives actual voice to some of the thoughts that mothers have, particularly those who have postpartum depression. And this book has now become one of the key titles for women who are struggling with postpartum depression. And I think that's a real wonderful thing, that we have something that helps them find voice to some of their thoughts, and that they're not alone.
I think that was probably like maybe 1997 when I was experiencing some postpartum depression after our third child. I think it's been a really wonderful thing that it's much more spoken of and visible and acceptable to say, hey, I'm feeling this way and I need help, and to have tools such as this book to help us deal with that. Did you want me to share a couple?
Yes, of course, Michelle. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna talk about Marvin monsters with ADHD and anxiety, stress, and it's especially for kids. I think it targets older elementary kids to even younger junior high kids could learn a lot from it. You have this cute little monster who just can barely contain himself, and he makes all kinds of silly decisions, not because he's a troublemaker or because he's a bad kid. It's simply because his brain is always going. And the tool that you're given in that book is the ST4, stop, take time to think. Just resonated with that character. It was totally him. And another one that I love is called Full of Empty. And that's a story, it's a picture book about a little girl who is sad, and people around her are trying to figure out why. And so they try different things. Maybe she's hungry with a friend, and it goes on until what they really figure out is what she needs is time with mom and dad. And it just ends in kind of sweet, just reinforcing that. Like you said, it's way too hard to pick favorites, but I'll say just the favorite book to read with my kids is by David Miles. And it takes a horse who starts out and he's just very sad. There's nothing super interesting about him because everybody loves the unicorn who toots rainbows and eats cupcakes, and he just gets to hang out in the mud, and his toots are stinky. And in the end, we see the horse come around to have an opportunity to save Unicorn, happy together. So it just kind of creates a little different perspective and has a great sense of humor with it, really fun illustrations. And my kids, they just love to laugh at that book.
You've spoken a little bit about the mission statement of Familius and how it's family oriented. If you had like a take-home message or a message that you want to send out to the children reading your books, what would it be?
Courageous people change the world. We want them to know that, like Rosa Parks and Malala, Abraham Lincoln, Gandhi, that every single one of us is just an individual who, given opportunity, can create positive change. And I could go on and on. Every single book has an intent, and sometimes the intent is just to entertain, and that's okay too, or to laugh. But the majority of our books do that, as well as have some purpose behind them. What we really have is what we call our 9 values of happy families, and so there we want families to love, work, talk, heal, read, eat, and laugh together. Okay? We believe that the family that eats together stays together. That the most important work you'll ever do is within the walls of your own home. If we can get, parents reading with their kids, cooking with their kids, playing with their kids, loving their kids, and loving the people around them, it will just make a better world.
I would just say that in my mind is that I hope that the books that we publish will love and support families and will help them to bond together and just have wonderful relationships. I also hope that it will show children that we're encourage children to just use their imagination and how a simple idea can be turned into a beautiful work of art.
And last but not least, I was wondering, do you have any good news you'd like to share?
I can say I'm excited about our new releases that are coming out. I'll tell you my favorite new release that's coming out next month is that's by Kathy McMillan. And I love that book because it shows just the sweetest relationship between a mom and a little child. So just fun illustrations, sweet story. And that's my favorite part of all of this, is just watching a book come to life and be able to hold it in your hand. So that's my good news, just having the opportunity to do that again and again.
It's an interesting year, challenging. You've got not to be pessimistic. I don't think we've seen the most difficult economic times yet. I think they're coming. However, I think that we have a country of resiliency with great people, individuals who make positive change, just like our books do. And I think that if we all work hard and we show respect and love and tolerance for those around us, seeking first to understand, not just to be understood, spending time being educated, the country come out of this and the world come out of this, and opportunities to be much better than we have been. Good news is we're optimistic for the world and for books in general. A book sale, a good book sale, people are buying books. I can tell you, people want books. This is a fact. I can tell you, they're reading, so that's a good thing.
Thank you so much for joining me. I am honestly geeking out here because I've loved your books for so long, and it's such an honor to speak with you. And that is Some Good Book News with Miranda Reads. Thank you so much for watching, and happy reading. Bye.